Okay, I will share my screen as well with you so that you know what I'm talking about. Okay, I will share my screen as well. Okay, this is how it looks like in YouTube. As you can see, you can see my face here, not in Google Meet. So this is what I want to show you, because you can view the video from here as well, but I think it's gonna be slightly delayed. As you can see right now, I'm talking. This is how it looks like in YouTube. Okay, now as you can see, my face here. Okay, so that is YouTube stream. Okay, if you prefer to use Google Meet, then you stay here, because I'm presenting with you through Google Meet. I hope that the video here looks fine to you. Okay, so let me get to the assignment first. I want to discuss on this first, because this is like your revision for your quiz later. So this is it. Has anybody turned in? Yeah, so many people turned in already. Okay. Okay. Alright. Okay, good. Siapa gitu? Adam? INT. Okay. This is just common mistake done by you. Common mistake. Okay, I can show you. I think you guys have pretty much nailed it. It's just that there is an update to the question. Basically, this is not higher than 100,000. It should be higher or equal to 100,000. Okay, basically I can take one code from anyone here. Okay, maybe whoever has the nicest. This is like something almost similar to what I was expecting. Alright, I think, yeah, I'm just looking at a few of the samples here, but the one that Nazrul did is basically similar to mine. Okay, this is what I'm trying to create. But only this one. This is the part that you need to change here. But let me go through the process real quick afterward. But this is pretty much okay already. It's except for else, or you don't use else if like this. You don't need to specify else if anymore, because there is only two outcome. Chat power lah. Okay, let me browse through lagi. I think I skipped a few people in front. Okay, it seems like this one is like the copied version of okay, this one is the same, like ni sama. Nabila dengan Nazrul sama, so I think you did some discussion. Okay, this one looks something similar to previous code as well. I think I saw this somewhere. Okay, this is one of the way to do it as well, if you don't want to write the decimal point directly, right? So it is not 35%. Look at the question carefully. It's not 35%. Is really, this one is 35. Oh no, sorry. 1 2 0.35, right? Is it 0.35? Is it 0.35 or 0.035? 0.035. Nor Air Miza, you did this one wrong. It's actually, the interest rate is not 0.35. If you divide 35 with 100, can it should be 0.35 by right. The interest rate is 0.035 or 0.05. This one okay, this one correct. 5 divided by 100 is correct, but not the 35 divided by 100. What else? Okay, this one. Betul. This one looks similar to this one looks similar to yang siapa tadi, lupa dah nama. Okay, alright, almost similar here and there. Okay, let me show you the safest way to answer that question. Apa Nazrul tadi kan, Nazrul, you did great with the code. It's almost perfect. You even nail it with the declaration. Oh, got few people sama. I'm pretty sure copy and paste is happening there lah. But never mind, we learn from by doing it together. Learn from others. Kalau kamu rasa macam lambat sikit nak menangkap benda ni, you learn from people who can do it very well. Alright, so let me open up it should be somewhere here. Okay, I put it somewhere here. Alright,
So how to copy untuk dapat tulisan macam ni? Kami copy pergi word lain je.
Copy dapat tulisan, what do you mean by that?
Tulisannya macam copy pergi word nak saya nak.
Oh, no, not word. Copy to notepad. Notepad.
Notepad.
Starting from now, you guys don't use Microsoft Word. Okay, whenever I ask you to submit your code, you need to submit it in TXT file rather than the OCX file. I don't want the OCX. TXT is much easier for me to open, and then it is meant for you to write code as well. TXT file. It doesn't change the formatting. That is what I'm trying to say. Formatting dia akan still the same. It doesn't stylize your double quote. That is the most important part of code writing. Okay, looking at this flowchart and pseudocode, this one is very helpful already, because we have basically processed all the IPO. We know the IPO table already from the example here, and I will use the 100,000 and 60,000 amount for my loan, and then let's say the period of repayment, we stick it to 9 years. Okay, 9 years of installment. This is what it means by period of repayment is 9 years, but in 1 year we have 12 months, so later you need to multiply 9 with 12. Okay, and if you plan on buying a car that costs 100,000, and then you are applying for this loan, in the end your car price will be 131,500. Okay, while if your car price is 60,000, if you take this loan, you will need to pay 87,000. So that is the amount that you need to pay. That is the problem here. We need to calculate how much does the user need to pay, how much does the customer needs to pay monthly. We need to calculate the interest rate on all that. So here is the IPO. I'm pretty sure you have seen this before. So looking at this example, this pseudocode right here, we can see that we need to declare a few stuff. Okay, but the most important, the most significant one is gonna be loan. Okay, this is typo, this is loan, basically the amount of loan. So whenever we talk about money here, okay, it is always either double or float. Okay, thankfully in the example right there, I gave the example in just a whole number, 100,000 and 60,000. So it is acceptable if you declare the loan as int, but I would prefer you to use double or float for that, because sometimes we have the decimal number as well, because it is money, right? When it comes to money, there must be some point per percent. Okay, but int loan for this purpose is acceptable. And POR, okay, period of repayment, we can use repayment, we can use int for that as well, but you can get it right with either one. So you can also use double, or if you don't like double, you can use float for this. Okay, but int should be okay for our example. You need to be careful with this declaration right here. Okay, if your example, if you, the amount that you are expecting to get is just a whole number without decimal point, you are safe. But if later, if you have something like division process involved in your code, then you might be in trouble when it comes to this calculation. So int should be okay, but it is more recommended if you just stick with double for anything related to money. Okay, POR okay with int here. Okay, so POR, because we know it's 9 years, 8 years, 6 years, so it won't be a decimal number. But for loan here, you better stick with double. All right, that is not the only declaration that you need here, because as you can see down here, you have got a few stuff going on. Okay, one of them is interest rate. So as you look at the rate value here, rate is a decimal number, 3.5 5 over 100. Okay, 3.5 over 100. So we can declare rate as double straight away. Okay, easy. Okay, just use the name, you just pick the name carefully, because interest rate here, okay, there is nothing else that is related to rate, so we can just use the term rate to be our interest rate, to represent our interest rate. So for the interest itself, okay, you can type interest. Okay, and then for the total interest, you can just write total interest for your variable name, total interest. Okay, and then for sum, okay, all these will need to be declared with double. Okay, there will be no more int. The only int that is really suitable to be used here is only for POR. POR is the only variable that needs to be declared, that can be declared with int. The others, you just stick with double. As you can see, I have declared total interest. Now I look at the next equation. You see, you are extracting all the variables from your pseudocode. You just look at your pseudocode, you know how many variables you need. So the next one is sum, and then lastly monthly, I guess. Yeah, lastly monthly. Right, so we have finished with the declaration there. We are only declaring here, Okay, we are not assigning any value. As you can see, I'm just using comma, comma, comma to separate all my variable names. So we are not declaring any values to them. Okay, but we are about to declare later.
POR boleh kah double ke lang mesti INT je?
It can be double as well. It doesn't matter. It can be double. This is when code writing becomes very like subjective, you know. It can be INT, it can be double. It won't affect your result actually. But if you do everything in INT, then you will get into trouble. Okay, because you know that when it comes to decimal point, INT will cut everything right after the decimal point, so your final answer won't be accurate. So you better be careful.
Maksud double yang sebenar se?
Huh?
Double yang.
What does it mean by double? Double is basically just a variable, a data type for decimal number. Okay, INT is a data type for whole number, for a single precision. I think it's not single precision. When we talk about precision, it is decimal point. So it is just a whole number. A whole number is number without decimal point.
Okay.
So double is for numbers with decimal dot something. Okay, so after we have finished with the declaration here, we can start off by asking. Okay, when you look at the pseudocode or the flowchart here, you will look at this parallelogram. It's reading something from the user, meaning that we are trying to get the value from user input. So we need to ask the user, enter loan amount. Enter loan amount in RM, let's say in RM. Then you can proceed with cin the value that you want to get. Okay, since we use loan as the term to describe our loan amount, so we are going to cin into loan. The second question is gonna be the period of repayment. Enter POR, I'm shorten it up in years. Okay, so the next cin is gonna be related to whichever variable that is that has been declared to represent POR, which is the POR itself. So we use POR here. Cin into POR. Get the value entered by user to be placed into this variable called POR. So that's it with the input. We don't need anything else. So now we can start off with our if statement here, if condition here. So if followed by parenthesis, then inside the parenthesis is where you put your condition here. Condition. I'm just placing this placeholder first. Condition followed by this curly bracket here. Okay. For the condition, and then inside here should be my statement. Okay, for the condition here, we are talking about loan here. So if the loan amount is somehow larger or equal to 100,000, okay, this is incorrect. I did modify it in the video, in the stream, but not in the actual file here, because in the video I put equal sign as well. Yeah, I think here I put it here, equal. So if the loan amount is 100,000, you better check if you write it properly. Okay, 100,000, meaning this is larger or equal. So even 100,000 is considered under this statement, and that will return true. So the statement is gonna be, the statement for this condition is gonna be the interest rate. The interest rate will be 3.5%. So the interest is gonna be, you cannot write 3.5%. Okay, you better not doing something like this, because this is completely wrong, because percentage is not considered as percentage in C++ program. This is actually a modulus operation. That is an operator. You should not use that in your code to represent percentage. What you need to do is either you use the method of just dividing by 100. Okay, you can do that, or you can write the value straight away, 0.035. You need to divide it by yourself first, and then you enter the value explicitly. So this is involving division, and this is directly giving the value straight away. So you can use either one of the method. Okay, what I mean by you don't need else if in this code. Okay, you don't need to use else if statement. As you can see, you only have two outcomes. Two outcomes means you have the one on the right and the one on the left. It's either yes or no only. Okay, you don't have multiple outcomes, so you don't need to use else if. Even though it won't be it is not wrong. It is not wrong to use else if, but it is not suitable. Okay, it's not suitable. So you just stick with else here. Else. And then else here means if the value of loan is lower than 100,000, meaning it's starting from 99,999 ringgit, then you will start looking at the next interest rate. So the next interest rate is 5%. So it's 5 divided by 100 is okay as well, but you can directly enter the number here. 0.05, right? Okay, 0.05. Okay, once you have done with that, you can start just placing all the mathematical expression there. Those are the calculation involved in this problem. So you can start off by calculating the interest. Oh, sorry, this is not interest, this is rate. Okay, sorry, I got mixed up just now. So this should be rate. Okay, the second declaration here. And now we need to calculate the interest. Okay, now is the time we need to calculate the interest. So interest is equivalent to, you just copy it directly, loan multiply with interest rate. Okay, we call it rate, right? So that is how we write it. And then the second one is total interest. Total interest equals to interest multiply with POR, period of repayment. So how many years? So you need to multiply the interest for 1 year with the total year of repayment. And then for the next calculation, it involves the sum. The sum is gonna be the original loan amount, the original price of the car, plus with the total interest accumulated. And then lastly, you calculate the monthly. It is easy for you to solve this problem. It's easy for you to write the code because everything has been written down for you, or everything has been prepared for you. But if you were given this kind of problem later on, you need to be very, very careful with the designing part. Okay, this is what we call the designing. Algorithm design is when you need to design the flow from top to bottom. When it comes to this, is the combination of sequential and conditional selection. There are two structures in here, but for your selection structure is very minor. It's just from line 13 until line 18. I can show you how to shorten it up even more later. Okay, display interest per year. Interest per year is RM interest. MDL out sorry, out monthly payment is RM. This is how you should do it, monthly, right? Okay, so that's basically it. Let me run the code real quick. Terminal. So let me delete that. Okay, let me zoom it in a little bit. Let us use this example right here. So terminal. Okay, I'm going to compile my code first. Okay, the next one is going to be executing the code. Alright, let us use the loan amount as stated in the example here. It's 100,000. So if you write 100,000 and then you enter POR as suggested by the question, you put 9. As you can see, 3,500 is our interest per year, and then we need to pay 1217.59. So what does it mean by that? Okay, it was not shown, it was not described in this example right here, but I can show you the calculation that leads to 1217.19. As you can see here, my total loan here is not even presented in our output. We can add that to our output. So let me add one more cout line here so that we can get the value of 131,500 as well. Total sum, right? Sum. Okay, just put sum. I think it is called final principle. Yeah, it's final principle. So you use the term final principle. Okay, final principle RM sum. Okay, so if I rerun the code, I will see the value of 131,500. So 100,000, enter 9. So as you can see here, the value here is too near with RM. So how to separate them? You just need to get after RM here, and then you make a single space. Make a single space here, so that the value gets separated from RM. And then you can do one more cout here to separate your console here. Like me, and I keep on seeing Z at I9 here, so I need to push it further downward, so that the code looks the output looks separated from my console. Okay, so if I rerun the code, 100,000 with repayment 9, as you can see, it looks better now. As you can see, due to the end line at my line 28, I have another empty space here before I get to my new terminal notation here. Okay, as you can see, this 131,500, if you enter 131,500 divided by I'm not sure if this calculator can do it perfectly. It needs to be divided by 9 multiplied with 12, because in 1 year we have 12 months. So that to calculate the monthly payment, we need to know how many months in total. So how many months in total is basically I need to clear them up. So 9 multiplied with 12 is 108. So 131,500 divided by 108 will give me 1217.59. That is the calculation behind this program. Okay, so that is how you get the monthly payment. Okay, you can also use the 60,000 example here. let's do it with 60,000, and then the period of repayment is 9. Interest per year is okay. This one there is some problem with this. Okay, enter 60,000. So interest per year should be 3,000, but it is not happening here. Did I do something wrong? Okay, let me change this to double. Let me try again. 60,000, enter. Number of year is 9. What is wrong with my calculation here? Do you guys see any problem? 60,000 is my loan amount, enter period year 9. Interest should be 3,000. Why is it not happening? Else rate is 5%, right? 5%. 5 0.05. Why is my 0.05 multiply with 60,000 is not working? It should be 3,000. Interest per year. Well, what is that sound? Why do I suddenly 400,000 larger than, else rate is equivalent to this. Why is it not working? I've tried this last night with 0.05 and it works. Let's see. It would be even weirder if this worked. Yeah, this one worked. Okay, now I get it. Okay guys, are you guys looking at this issue now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you better listen carefully. Right. Okay. The rate here is 0.05, right? Okay. It can be represented in 5 divided by 100. Okay. If you divide 5 with 100, then you get 0.05 using your calculator, using your Casio calculator or whatever. But here, let me look at the rate value real quick. Rate. So rate applied is red. ENDL. Okay, so red applied is red ENDL. Right, so let's look at the output. Okay, I will enter 100,000 first. 100,000, 9. Okay, red applied is 0.035. Okay, yeah, I can get the expected interest rate, right? The expected interest rate, which is 0.035. But what about if I use 60,000 as my loan amount? As you can see, the rate applied is 0. What is wrong with this? Can you think of it? What is wrong with my code? It seems like everything is okay. Yeah, Nasra, saya dapat use. Alright. Okay, the solution is that you cannot divide an in number with in number and hoping that you get a decimal number. You won't get that as your answer. Okay, so you need to either you modify the numerator, the one at the top, or the denominator, the one at the bottom. I think you can use either one. So it must be 5.0. Whenever you want to play around with double here. So this one should not be integer. This one can remain as por, as int, because I modified the por value as well just now. The por type to become double. It doesn't have to be double. So now let me check again. Now I can get the 0.05, or I can use 100.0 as well. This might be acceptable as well. 60,000 9. Okay, anything either numerator or denominator, it must be decimal number in order for you to get a decimal answer. If you use both as a whole number without any decimal point, it will be considered as integer. So it will only take the first number here before the decimal point, the first number only. It doesn't care about the remaining part of your calculation. So I hope that I have made it very clear to you. Some of you might not really understand that, but I hope that by looking at this demonstration just now, you really understand what you're supposed to do. So try to be careful with the calculation when it comes to decimal number. Alright, so that's it with our discussion on this topic right here. So let us get back to where is my loop here. Alright, so this is actually the modified version. I've added up some new slides here. Okay, starting from 5, 6, 7. Okay, we are gonna go back to Mirza. Mirza is the one that have been shown by Nur Imaduddin. Glenn, I don't think you have tried this, can? This is how you create animation intro for your project later on. You can modify how many stuff you want to be printed out. So this 20 means there will be 20 stars being printed out. You can print other things. You can print like hashtag, you can print like hashtag here, or you can print like modular sign, but there must be placed inside double quote. Okay, alright, noted loud and clear. Okay, the percentage sign must be inside double quote in order for you to see the double quote, the percentage sign being printed out in series. So we go straight to these different type of loops. So we have done while loop yesterday. Do while is just the invert of while loop, and then for loop is the next topic. Nested is the combination of either one of the loop. So here you can see my flowchart showing you how does the while loop looks like. Okay, this is how while loop looks like. Okay, you have a previous process, it could be any process, and then for the condition here, if the condition is true, then it will go to the loop body, and then it will go back up here. It will do it will return back to the condition. Okay, it will return back to the condition. It is supposed to be connected to the line. Sorry, it's supposed to be connected to the line, not to the box. Okay, like this. You see, I need to modify them here and there, so you need to stay updated with me. For do while, as you can see in the next flowchart on the right here, you have a previous process here, and then you start off the loop straight away. Okay, the do starts here. So you can see, before we look at the condition, just now we look at the condition first to determine whether we need to enter the loop body or not. But for do while, we are going to execute the loop body first, and then at the end of the loop body, you will look at the condition. If the condition is still true, then you repeat the loop body for as long as it is true. And then if the condition is no longer true, you exit the loop, you go to next process. You look at this, when the condition is true, you keep on repeating the process. But here you look at the condition first and then loop body. As you can see in the code structure here, the while condition comes first before loop body. For the do while, the loop body comes first before while condition. But you must have this do keyword as well inside here. Okay, we can do a simple example for this question, for this structure later on. Okay, the next one is for loop. Okay, this is for loop. For loop has a quite a complicated structure, but this is a very like very systematic way of doing this repetition, because you can assume that this is like a while loop in one package. Everything is inside this parenthesis, rather than you have your condition only and then you need to do something in your loop body to update the condition later. But here in for loop, everything is being compressed within a single parenthesis here. As you can see, we start off with for, and then we have the first item here, we call it init, and then the second item we call it condition, which is the diamond here, and then the last one is update. Okay, normally in other example you might see this as statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, and then they will explain to you what does each statement do in this code. So looking at this flowchart right here, first you init the variable and then you look at the condition. Sorry, you don't go here. See, I am modifying it again, so you are not going there, you just going down there straight away. I need to use other types of connector here. This connector looks better. Alright, so the end of it should be arrowhead, and then it should be around 2 or 3, 2, I guess 2, and then yellow. Alright, so that is the correct. How do I zoom in? Yeah, I need to zoom in without using the magnifying glass. Alamak, I'm having trouble here. Okay, now is the problem. Okay, I cannot minimize the page anymore. This it's behaving weird, the Google slide window. Yeah. Right, so we init the variable first, so we need to only do this once, and then you look at the condition. If the condition is true, then you go to the loop body, and then you update the loop counter variable. Okay, you update the loop counter variable, and then you will check again the condition, and you keep on repeating until the condition is false. So looking at the structure down here, can I scroll down? Can I make it go all the way down here? Okay, as you can see down here, init is executed one time. You have to understand this. Init is executed one time before, as you can see, I am capitalizing the word before, the execution of the code block. This is the code block, right? We call this code block. The overall structure here is called code block. So init is executed once only. Okay, you need to understand this. That's why I'm really stressing out on this. Condition defines the condition for executing the code block. So that is just like while loop, that is just like do while loop. And update is executed every time, not just one time. Update is being done every time after the code block has been executed. So once the block has been executed, then you no longer look at init, but you keep on looking at the update value. You update condition, update condition, update condition. So I hope that you understand that. And lastly, we go straight to nested. Nested is like you are combining one loop, one bigger loop, one larger loop with another one smaller loop. Okay, as you can see in this example right here, we have while condition 1 is true, then you go inside it, and then inside that condition 1, inside that larger repetition here, larger loop here, there is another smaller loop inside while condition 2. So you are combining two while loop within a single structure here, single block. For the second example here, a second nested example here is 4 inside 4. So you have another for loop inside a larger for loop. Okay, so this is the larger for loop is outside, the smaller for loop is inside that. So you have two repetition going on within the same block, right? So that is regarding all those different structure. Types of repetition structure here, you have counter controlled loop, which is basically the one that we normally do yesterday. Okay, I think I can show you this straight away. Counter control loop is whenever we use number to count the number of loop that we need to do, we need to perform. Something like we print out the number from 0 to 9 yesterday, so we use this structure right here. Let me do it in Atom. Okay, let me replace everything here, and then as you can see, that is the code. I will run the code now. G++ out. As you can see, 0 until 8 is being printed out due to the fact that I'm not including 9 in the output. Okay, as you can see, the relational operator here is for as long as my I is lesser than 9, print it out. After it has exceeded 9, so you don't need to print it out any longer. So here you can see that we are declaring 0 as our initial value here. There is something known as what do they call it? There is some term that they use to call that table. Let me check. Okay, inside your topic 4, there is a tutorial part at the end of this tutorial 4 that requires you to use this tracing table. Yeah, tracing table. So we can actually use tracing table to better understand what we are dealing with here. Tracing table. So can I create another slide for you down here? Okay, let me delete this too. Okay, we want to see this only, and then I can create a table for you. Can I do a table? Tracing table. I think this one is enough. I'm not sure if I can make it smaller this way. Right, okay. Okay, the tracing table to solve this problem is basically looking like this. So this is the I value. Okay, I need to make everything in white, I guess, in white, so that you can clearly see the character here. Okay, this is the I value, and everything should be at the center. So so that it looks better. All right, this is the condition. Condition will be I is less than 9. It auto capitalizing my I, so I need to change it back. So I need to hold them, and then this is gonna be I plus plus. All right. Okay, this is actually the best way for you to understand how repetition works. Okay, how repetition works. So let's start off with the initial value of I. Our initial value of I is 0, right? So it is 0 here. And then you look at the condition. Is 0 lesser than 9? It is true, right? It is true. So therefore, the loop body will be executed. Okay, before we do this, there should be one more column. How do I add one more column? Format option. Is it format option? Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Don't know. Can I is it gonna or insert row, column, left? Alright, good. Like this. Okay, I will make this larger. This one go here, this one go here. This one is what should we do here? See out. This one is loop body. So the process that we are doing here is gonna be see out I only. See out I. So make it smaller here, and then I change it to robotomono to better represent the code itself. Okay, this one should be robotomono as well. This one should be robotomono. Right, this one is also robotomono. Okay, so here we need to output what? I, the current value of I, which is 0. Just output 0 there. Okay, and then I think I need to shorten the number here a little bit. Okay, let me shorten the number like to 5, let's say 5. Maybe 9 is too long because I don't want my table to get very long. Let's change this to 5. Are you guys still with me? Now I need to ask for your response because you have been so quiet.
Yes.
For so long. Alright.
Okay.
This is the first print out, which is 0 here, and then I plus plus here will get you to the next I value. The next I value should be I plus plus, means the current value of I, you add 1 to it, so it becomes 1. Okay, it becomes 1. So now your new value of I here is gonna be 1. See, now you are comparing 1 with 5. Is 1 lesser than 5? That is still true. And then you output 0, 1. Okay, because you have the new value here. And then the current value of I is 1. The next value of I is gonna be 2. Okay, this is considering you are looking at I plus plus. This is a post addition, post increment method. By right, at that line itself, the I value is not yet 1. But when it reaches at the top of the loop again, when it goes back to the top of the loop, then the value of I will be incremented. So you can assume that this one might be better if we use this formula right here. I plus equal to 1, so that I can really show this is how it looks like in the process there. I plus 1. Okay, this is similar to I plus equal to 1. I equal to I plus 1 is similar to I plus equal to 1. This is the short form of that. Okay, I can make this one larger so that it's easier for you to see, right? Okay, so now your I is 2. Okay, then the new I is 2, so it's 2 lesser than 5, true. And then the value of 2 will get printed out as well, so 0, 1, 2. And then the next value of I is gonna be 3 because 2 plus 1 is 3. So the next value of I is 3. Is 3 lesser than 5? It is still true. And then 0, 1, 2, 3, print it out. And then 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay, now I need to add one more row below, I guess. Row below, so 4. You see, I need to make everything smaller right now, so that can I do this? It gets smaller and smaller, guys. Sorry guys, sorry. It gets smaller and smaller. Okay, now the value of I is 4. It's still true. Now I need to print out 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the next value of I is gonna be 5. 4 plus 1 is 5. And then I need to add one more. Sorry, how do I get to that menu just now? Okay, row below. So the next value, or the new value of I is 5. Is 5 lesser than 5? No, that is not right. Okay, that is wrong. So you will exit the loop. Exit loop. You no longer update the value. So do you understand this, guys?
Yes, yes.
Alright, this is how you actually analyze your repetition. So if we change the value in the code editor here, change it to 5, then you will see the output being printed from 0 to 4 only. Okay, right, so that is regarding this part right here is like this. See out. Okay, be careful with the placement as well. I think I've mentioned it to you yesterday. If you place it earlier than the see out, the pattern is gonna be different. It will be shifted down by one value. So it starts printing out 1 and it ends at 5. So that's the difference. Okay, when you do that, when you do the loop counter variable update, I think that is what we call LCV. There is one LCV, loop control variable. The term that they use, okay, the standard term that they use to define this thing I here is loop control variable. So the update of loop control variable matters when it comes to the output that you are expecting. Okay, because if you put it earlier, then the table here will be different, will be slightly different. Okay, I can show you that so that I can make everyone happy with the explanation here. Okay, let me change the placement up here. Right, so this is how it looks like just now, or I can return back to I++ form of incrementing the number. Okay, now we start with okay, I can cut everything here. I can remove everything from here. Okay, so now the condition is still the same, but the incrementing part is actually before the loop body. So basically you do the incrementation first, then you do the I++. So I can replace this here and this one here. Okay, so you can see this is the structure that you need to understand. You look at the I value first, and then you need to look at the condition, and then what is inside the loop body. You do something first, which is incrementing the loop control variable. So the column can be switched. Okay, switch. We will increment the loop control variable, then we take care of the loop body. So our initial value of I is 0. Then now I need to centralize everything. Then I need to change the color to white. Okay, so I is lesser than 5. So 0 is lesser than 5, so it is true. And then so I plus plus immediately, now I plus plus will get you to 1. That is why you print out 1 here. And then here is 1. Okay, so 1 is lesser than 5, so it is true. So here 1 plus 1 is gonna be 2. Okay, because it is incremented by 1 here. This I is 1, so I plus plus is 2. So you print out 1, then 2. Then the next value of I is still 2. So 2 is lesser than 5, true. And then you will go into the loop body and you will see the I plus plus right away. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So you need output 1, 2, 3. And then the new value of I is supposed to be 3 here. And then you look at the condition 3 is lesser than 5, it's true. And then 3 plus plus is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. See, okay, I need to make it smaller now. Okay, 4 is lesser than 5 is still true. So 4 plus plus is 5. So the output is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 5 is lesser than 5. No, false. Exit loop. Alright, that's it. That's the difference. Why do you see different output? It's due to the fact that the position of our LCV, okay, I can call this LCV, LCD pula, LCV. Loop control variable is different. Loop control variable. This is the LCV. Alright, that is regarding LCV. Another one is Sentinel. Sentinel control is this one, like this code right here. Let me show you how it runs in this atom here. Let me show you first before explaining it. Okay, let me compile it. So enter I value. Alright, enter any value. Enter any value. Alright, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, you can enter any value except for 100. If you enter 100, ta-da, it exit the loop. Okay, so let me write something down here. Loop exited due to 100. So here our 100 is basically the value of interest. We are interested in looking at 100 only when the value entered by the user is equivalent to 100, then you stop looping. So if the value is 1, you keep on looping. 2, keep on looping. Any number, keep on looping. Any other number, keep on looping. But only when the number is even 99.9, I don't think it is. Oh, okay, now it is crashing. Okay, it crashed because of I'm using a decimal number and I putting it inside integer container. You cannot do that, it will crash the program. So only when the value is 100 is when the loop will get exited. So as you can see here, the pattern here that you need to understand is this is what we call a relational process, or relational comparison. So while I is not equal to 100, Okay, for as long as I is not equivalent to 100, you keep on doing anything inside the loop body, which is getting the user to input I. But once the I value entered by user is 100, you exit the loop straight away. Okay dah? You understand this? Ada comment. Sorry. Yes. So this is basically something similar to our password punya example yesterday. I hope that you guys still remember regarding the password example. Password example here. This one is guessing, number guessing. This one is actually sentinel value as well. Yeah, this one. This 1 2 3 4 yesterday, our pin number is basically the sentinel value, and then we compare it also with the logical operator and here with the condition that is thrice. Thrice is our loop control variable. Okay, as you can see here, you are combining sentinel with loop control variable, since there are three types of structure that you need to understand. One is counter control, which is using the LCV, loop control variable. Sentinel control, using just one value of interest. Okay, one value that will either keep you in the loop or get you out of the loop. So that is sentinel value. And the last one is flag. Flag is actually very interesting, but it is I hope that I am doing a great job at demonstrating this to you now. Okay, I hope that you understand this sentinel value. You are comparing the condition with one value that will either get you to stay in the loop and keep on repeating, or get you outside the loop. Okay, so this is the last structure, which is flag control. Flag control is using flag. Flag in C++ is not the normal flag bendera. We are talking about a boolean term here. A boolean in computer programming is only true or false. So true or false. So the boolean itself can be used to ensure either you stay in the loop or you exit the loop. So look at this example right here. We have a boolean called repeat, and then while repeat is true, so while repeat is true, still repeat, you ask again inside the loop, and then you re-enter the value of repeat. Okay, so let me show you how it runs. This is a very basic example that you can play around with. So still repeat, you can type true here. So it's 0. While repeat is true, can I use 1 here instead? Oh, it wants to be either 1 or 0. 1 means true here. 1 means true, and then 0 means false. Okay, you exit the loop. Can you see that? Can you see that, guys? Loop. Repeat equals to repeat. Okay, I'm adding another line down here so that you can see the output at the end of your code here. So endl right. So this one now is gonna be okay. For some reason I could not use true, or probably because it doesn't understand true in this sense right here. It seems like a string. Okay, so it immediately becomes false straight away. Okay, the answer is 0 there. As you can see, is 0 there because it doesn't know what does this true means, but it knows the value of boolean whenever you put 1. 1 is true in computer, right? 1 is true, so it keeps on repeating for as long as you type 1. Can you type anything else? No, nothing else will be accepted other than 1 or 0. So this is something to do with boolean. Whenever you enter 0, it will say loop exited due to repeat equals to 0. So for as long as the repeat here is true, okay, it can also be integer rather than boolean, okay, to make you understand it better. So repeat can be 1 here, so that we are doing it correctly now. So for as long as repeat is 1, you keep on repeating the loop. But once you press 0 or anything other than 1, I guess, anything other than 1, oh sorry, anything other than 1 is still gonna be true except for 0 itself. 0 is the only false in computer language. 0 is the only false, and anything other than 0 can be true. So let me try -1. Yeah, even negative number is considered as true in boolean term. So starting from negative number all the way to -1, and then 0 is gonna be false. Okay, 0 is gonna be false, and then anything higher than 0 is considered as true. Okay, the only value that is false, considered as false, is 0, right? Keep that in mind. In computer, there's nothing else that is mati other than 0. Off, that is an off value for computer. So this is what we call flag, because there is no comparison happening, right? There is no comparison happening in this condition here. It's just the value itself. The value itself will tell whether to keep on repeating or to stop repeating the loop, right? So here I can show you one more ways of understanding it. Should I copy this? Maybe copy this down here, maybe. All right, just for the upcoming class in the afternoon. This one is also no need, right? Something to note here: while 1 is considered as forever loop, okay, forever loop. This is a forever loop. I think I've shown you yesterday how to do this forever loop. So forever loop with count. Let's see if we do this once again. Count equals to 0. Forever loop equals to count plus plus count endl. Okay, then as you can see, this is my forever loop that is going very fast, right? It's 3 million, 4 million, just like yesterday. So this loop will never end until you either crash your development C++, you crash your code block, or you crash your entire PC. You crash your entire operating system. So it depends on your computer performance. As you can see, the fan gets louder now because the CPU is working fairly hard now. It's not that hard. It's not working extremely hard. It's just 21%. Still not that difficult for Core i9 to handle this type of calculation. But still, all the cores are currently working extremely hard to calculate these numbers. That is what we call a forever loop. So if you put 0 inside here, there will be no loop happening. If you put 0, then it will exit the loop straight away. Nothing to do, right? So that is the easiest way to understand while loop here. Okay, do while loop, I never really care about do while loop. So let me just give you one example here of how to do while loop. We are not doing forever loop anymore, so we are just printing out the value of count. Okay, how to do a do while loop? Okay, first start off with do, and then you open up curly bracket, and then outside the curly bracket is where you write while, and then inside the parentheses is where you put. Okay, I'm gonna take some of your time in the afternoon. Is it okay? Count is 12 already. Count is something later. While count is lesser than, let's say we do this comparison here. While count is lesser than 10, you see out count ENDL. Hey, left the meeting already? Don't leave the meeting yet. Or if you have any issue with internet, it's okay lah. This is how you do it in the form of do while structure. Oh, sorry, I forgot one thing. I forgot to increment my count. So this will print out from 0 to 9. Okay, 0 to 9. As you can see, you start off with do first, and then you end it with 9 here. This is basically the reverse process of while loop. Okay, this is do while loop. I'm commenting them out, and then I write the while loop version of that. So while loop will look something like this. While count is lesser than 10, you see out count ENDL, and then count plus plus. Alright, I think that's it. Right, you're still getting the same pattern here. But whichever method you are interested in using is up to you. You can use either one of them. Okay, so I can add EC out here. I can separate them by an line, and then I can rerun the code so you can see the two patterns being printed out. Oh no, it doesn't print out both for some reason. Oh, it only happened once. Sorry, it hardly happened once because of I'm not redeclaring the count value to 0 here. So if I'm declaring, because right now the count value has reached 10. Okay, after you finish up this statement, right, all the loop here, this count value will get to 10, and then when the value gets to 10, the condition down there is no longer true. Since I wanted to see the two sequence of numbers in vertical output later, I need to reset my count value. So this is where we are resetting, reset LCV. So let me see the output. Alright, as you can see, there are two patterns being printed out. One is coming from do while loop, and the other one is coming from our while loop at the bottom. But here in the middle here is when we reset our count. Without resetting our count, we won't be able to get the second pattern down here, because the count value has been incremented to 10 for the top pattern here. Alright, I guess that is pretty much it for the introduction part. Okay, for your test, for your quiz, are you guys still with me? Still with me?
Yes, sir.
For your quiz, when it comes to code writing part later, code writing, yes sir, okay. There will be no looping. You don't need to worry about that. There will be no looping in your quiz.
So quiz macam ni so
You can look at the quiz will be done in Google Form. I hope that you guys are okay with it.
Yang pilih-pilih ke sir?
Pilih-pilih.
Objektif ke?
I think wait. I need to stop. I need to stop recording first. Stop recording. Mana. Stop streaming now. Not stop streaming. Yeah, I can stop streaming now.